Most people who quit drinking for 30 days think they have seen the full picture. They feel a little better, sleep a little deeper, maybe lose a few pounds, and they assume that is as good as it gets. They are dead wrong. The 30-day mark is not the finish line. It is barely the foundation. And what happens at 90 days, at 6 months, at 1 full year without alcohol is so radically different from where you started that the science almost sounds made up, but it is not. Every single stage of this timeline is backed by published research, and most of it is never discussed in mainstream health conversation. So if you have been thinking about removing alcohol from your life, or if you are already on this path and wondering what comes next, this is the video you need to watch all the way through. Because what is happening inside your body right now, at whatever stage you are in, is far more extraordinary than you realize. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online, and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address, and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now. Let's start with where most people begin. Day 30, the 1-month mark. You have cleared the initial withdrawal window, pushed through the first wave of cravings, and your body has been running without ethanol for 4 straight weeks. At this point, something measurable has already shifted in your blood chemistry. A study of social drinkers found that by the 30-day mark, fasting blood glucose levels dropped by an average of 23%. Another study found a 25% decrease in a key measure of insulin resistance. Think about that. In just 1 month, your body is already handling blood sugar more efficiently and putting significantly less strain on the metabolic systems that, if left unchecked, lead to type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Your liver, which has been working overtime for years trying to process a class 1 carcinogen, is finally getting a chance to breathe. Your sleep has also fundamentally changed by day 30. During the first week or two, sleep was probably worse. That is normal. Alcohol suppresses REM sleep, the deep restorative stage where your brain consolidates memories, clears metabolic waste, and resets emotional circuits. When you remove the sedative, your brain has to recalibrate. It is like a thermostat that has been manually overridden for years, suddenly being allowed to regulate itself again. By day 30, that recalibration is mostly complete. You are not just sleeping longer, you are sleeping properly. Real, restorative, biologically correct sleep. And the downstream effects of that touch everything. Your mood, your focus, your energy, your ability to handle stress without reaching for a bottle. Here's what most people also notice around this time. The weight starts coming off. When you consider all the dead calories you have been avoiding, hundreds of them per drinking session, combined with the fact that ethanol artificially stimulates appetite, the math is straightforward. Your body is no longer being force-fed empty fuel while simultaneously having its fat-burning processes disrupted. Insulin sensitivity is improving. Inflammation is dropping. Your face looks different, less puffy, less red. The bags under your eyes start to fade. People around you notice before you do. And if you had any lingering doubt about whether alcohol was really affecting your appearance, this is where those doubts die. But here is where it gets really interesting, because everything that happens at day 30 is just the foundation being poured. The concrete is still wet. If you drink now, even one celebratory glass, you are not pausing construction. You are taking a sledgehammer to wet concrete before it has set. You were tearing the house down just as the walls were starting to go up. The first 30 days were about survival, about clearing the rubble and digging out the foundation trench. The next phase is about something entirely different. It is about thriving. And what happens between day 30 and day 90 is where the transformation becomes undeniable. Let's talk about your brain, because this is the part nobody covers properly. When you drink regularly, your brain adapts to the constant presence of a depressant by upregulating excitatory neurotransmitters, primarily glutamate, and downregulating inhibitory ones, primarily GABA. GABA is your brain's brake pedal. The thing that calms you down, slows your thoughts, helps you relax. Glutamate is the accelerator. It fires you up, keeps you alert, drives anxiety when there is too much of it. Alcohol artificially floods the GABA system and suppresses glutamate. So your brain, trying to maintain balance, starts producing more glutamate and fewer GABA receptors. The result? When you are not drinking, you feel anxious, wired, restless, irritable. Not because you are an anxious person, because your neurochemistry is imbalanced from years of chemical interference. Between day 30 and day 90, your brain is actively rebuilding those receptor systems. GABA receptors are regenerating. Glutamate production is normalizing. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making, impulse control, long-term planning, is coming back online in a way it has not functioned in years. This is not a metaphor. This is measurable neuroplasticity. Your brain is literally rewiring itself, and the subjective experience of this is profound. The low-level background anxiety that you thought was just your personality starts to dissolve. The mental fog that you assumed was age-related begins to lift. Your ability to concentrate on complex tasks for extended periods improves dramatically, and this will not go unnoticed by the people around you, your colleagues, your partner, your friends. They will start saying things like, "You seem sharper. You seem different. What changed?" Here is the truth. You did not change. You just stopped being chemically altered 24 hours a day. At 90 days, you are essentially a different person. That is not hyperbole. The various health improvements that have been accumulating, better sleep, improved liver function, stabilized blood sugar, restored neurochemistry, reduced inflammation, they start feeding into each other. Each improvement amplifies the next. Better sleep gives you more energy. More energy gives you more discipline. More discipline gives you better habits. Better habits give you better health markers. It is a compounding cycle, but this time it is compounding in your favor instead of against you. Your work performance improves. Your daily schedule looks completely different. In the old days, your schedule largely revolved around alcohol. The drinking itself, the recovery from drinking, the planning around drinking, the mental energy spent justifying drinking. With that removed, you suddenly have hours in your day and bandwidth in your brain that you forgot existed. But that is not even the most significant thing happening at the 90-day mark. Something is changing at a deeper level, something that does not show up on blood tests or brain scans, but is just as real. Your identity is shifting. For years, maybe decades, you built your life around alcohol, your social circles, your routines, your idea of fun, your mechanism for dealing with stress, even your sense of self. Alcohol was woven into all of it. So when people try to remove it using willpower alone, it feels like removing a part of themselves, like amputating a limb. That is why willpower-based approaches have such catastrophic failure rates. You cannot fight yourself forever. But by day 90, if you have been paying attention to what alcohol actually is and what it actually does, something clicks. The switch flips. You stop seeing yourself as a drinker who is resisting temptation and start seeing yourself as a non-drinker. The same way you see yourself as a non-smoker or someone who does not inject heroin. And when that shift happens, the struggle evaporates. Not gradually, almost instantly. Now let's move to day 180, 6 months. This is where the physical transformation becomes impossible to ignore. Your liver, one of the most resilient organs in the human body, has been regenerating aggressively. Liver cells, called hepatocytes, have a remarkable ability to repair and replace themselves when you stop exposing them to a toxin. If you had early-stage fatty liver disease, which a staggering number of regular drinkers do without knowing it, there is a strong chance it has reversed entirely by this point. Your liver enzyme levels, AST and ALT, the markers doctors check to assess liver damage, have likely normalized. Your liver is no longer operating in crisis mode. It is functioning the way it was designed to function. Your cardiovascular system has also undergone significant repair by 6 months. Blood pressure, which alcohol elevates through multiple mechanisms, including increased cortisol and disrupted vasodilation, has been steadily declining. A 2017 study published in The Lancet analyzed over 600,000 drinkers across 19 countries and found a direct dose-dependent relationship between alcohol consumption and cardiovascular risk. Every drink above 0 increased the probability of stroke, heart failure, and fatal hypertensive disease. At 6 months without alcohol, your heart is operating under dramatically less strain. Your resting heart rate is lower. Your blood vessels are more elastic. The chronic low-grade inflammation that alcohol perpetuates throughout your entire cardiovascular system is subsiding. And here is something that will surprise you. Your immune system, which alcohol systematically suppresses, is now functioning at a level it probably has not reached in years. Alcohol impairs the production and function of white blood cells, your body's frontline defense against infection and disease. It disrupts the gut lining, which is where roughly 70% of your immune system resides. 6 months of sobriety means 6 months of gut lining repair, 6 months of immune cell restoration, 6 months of reduced systemic inflammation. You get sick less often. You recover faster when you do. Your body is no longer fighting a war on two fronts, defending against external threats while simultaneously trying to survive the internal assault of a toxic substance you voluntarily consumed. What most people also do not talk about is what is happening to your hormones at this stage. Alcohol disrupts testosterone production in men and estrogen regulation in women. It elevates cortisol, your primary stress hormone, which over time leads to fat storage around the midsection, muscle loss, sleep disruption, and chronic anxiety. By 6 months, cortisol levels have normalized. Testosterone levels in men have recovered significantly. Your body composition changes in ways that exercise alone could never achieve while you were still drinking. You are not just losing fat. You are building muscle more efficiently because your hormonal environment finally supports it. That stubborn belly fat that would not budge no matter how many hours you spent in the gym, it starts to disappear. Not because your workout changed, because your biochemistry did. But the real magic, the thing that makes the 1-year mark different from every other milestone, is what happens to your brain over the long arc. And this is where things get truly remarkable. At 365 days without alcohol, your brain has undergone a level of structural repair that researchers are still working to fully quantify. Gray matter volume, which alcohol measurably shrinks over time, has been increasing. Neural pathways that were weakened or pruned by years of toxic exposure have been strengthening. Your prefrontal cortex, that critical center for planning, judgment, and impulse control, is functioning at a capacity you probably have not experienced since your early 20s. MRI studies of people in recovery consistently show measurable increases in brain volume and cortical thickness within the first year of abstinence. Your brain was shrinking. Now it is growing back. Think about that. Really think about it. The psychological changes at 1 year are equally dramatic. That baseline anxiety, the one you managed with alcohol for years, the one that made you believe you were fundamentally anxious, gone. Or so reduced, it is barely recognizable. Because it was never really yours. It was manufactured by the neurochemical imbalance that alcohol created and then pretended to fix. Alcohol caused the anxiety, then temporarily relieved a fraction of it. And you gave it credit for the relief while ignoring that it caused the problem. That cycle is broken now. Your emotional baseline has reset. You experience genuine calm, not the artificial, borrowed, chemically induced relaxation that alcohol rented you at interest. Real calm, the kind that does not come with a hangover or a rebound anxiety, spikes 6 hours later. At 1 year, the compound interest of all these changes creates something that is hard to describe to someone who has not experienced it. Your relationships are different because you are fully present in them. Your career is different because your mental stamina and focus are at a level your colleagues cannot match. Your physical health is different because every system in your body, from your liver to your heart to your immune system to your hormones to your brain, has been repairing itself in parallel for 12 straight months. All the time, energy, and money that was previously being funneled into alcohol is now available for things that actually build your life instead of slowly dismantling it. You are sleeping deeply, thinking clearly, recovering faster from physical exertion, handling stress without a crutch. And perhaps most importantly, you are not fighting cravings. You are not white-knuckling through social events. You are not counting days. You are just living, clear, sharp, awake, for the first time in years, maybe decades. Here's what I want you to understand about this timeline. None of this is theoretical. Every stage, every mechanism, every improvement I just described is documented in published clinical research. Your body is the most advanced self-repairing machine in the known universe. It just needs you to stop poisoning it. And the gap between where you are right now and where you could be in 12 months is so vast that most people cannot even imagine it from the other side. You cannot see clearly through the fog. You do not know how thick it is until it lifts. The first 30 days were about clearing the rubble. The first 90 days were about pouring the foundation. 6 months was about building the walls. And 1 year? 1 year is when you move into the house. You look around and realize it is nothing like the cramped, dark, damaged structure you were living in before. It is open. It is solid. It is yours. And the longer you wait to start, the more it takes from you. not just your health, your time, your relationships, your potential. Every day you continue drinking is a day your body cannot spend healing. The clock does not start until you decide it starts. But when it does, the science is clear. Your body will meet you more than halfway. If you want to understand exactly what alcohol is doing to your brain right now, the specific mechanisms that keep you trapped, and how to break free from them, click the video on the screen right now.